Hi everyone, welcome to your daily doses of AWS topics. So, in this topic, we're going to discuss alias records and CNAME records in AWS Route 53. So, in AWS Route 53, both alias records and CNAME records are used to route traffic to specific resources, but they have different important differences. Here's a detailed comparison. So for alias records, number one, the purpose of alias record is used to map a domain name, okay, a domain name to AWS specific resources like Elastic Load Balancer, CloudFront distribution, S3 bucket, or another Route 53 record. So the key features of alias record is number one, native AWS integration. Alias records are specific to AWS and tightly integrated with AWS services. Number two, no additional cost. AWS doesn't charge for queries to alias records. Number three, works with Apex domains. Alias records can point to root domain, example.com, which CNAME records cannot. Number four, dynamic updates. Alias records automatically track changes to the underlying AWS resources, like when an Elastic Load Balancer IP changes. Okay. So for an example use case, you want to map your root domain example.com to an S3 bucket configured as a static website or a CloudFront distribution. Okay, so you're going to use the alias record for that. So for example, I have .NETS.xyz, then I want to point that to my S3 bucket, then I'm going to use an alias record. So number two is for the CNAME record. So the purpose of CNAME record is used to map a domain name to another domain name. So for the alias record is a domain name to an AWS specific resources, but for the CNAME is for to map a domain name to another domain name. So it's a DNS to DNS mapping. So for the key features, it is number one, non AWS specific. CNAME can map to any domain name, not just AWS resources. Number two, cannot use with Apex domains. A CNAME record cannot coexist with another DNS records for the same domain. It cannot be used for the root domain, example.com. Number three, manually updated. If the underlying DNS name changes, you need to update the CNAME record manually. Okay. So example use case, you want to map a subdomain like blog.example.com to an external service like blog.external-service.com. So for the key differences, uh, number one, feature for the feature AWS integration. The alias record is designed specifically for AWS services, while the CNAME can point to any external domain. For the cost, alias record has no additional query charges, while the CNAME standard query charges apply. For the root domain, Apex supports root domains like example.com, while the CNAME it doesn't support is not supported for root domains. For automatic updates, the alias record automatically tracks AWS resources changes, while in CNAME it requires manual updates for changes. For the feature DNS query types, um, alias record can work with A and 4A or 4A records, while the CNAME works only with the CNAME records. Okay, when to use which? Use an alias record when routing traffic to AWS resources like Elastic Load Balancers or CloudFront or S3 or etc. You need to map the root domain example.com to any AWS resources and use a CNAME record when routing traffic to external domains like third-party services and mapping subdomains like app.example.com to another domain. And yeah, so that's it. Thanks. Bye bye.